Gitaroo Man is a PS2 rhythm game, and one of the best PS2 games I think I've ever played, having barely aged at all. Having said that, this game is amazing at what it does, and I'd like to cover it. As for Gitaroo's limitations, its graphics to me are very charming. Some characters are limited by some graphic fidelity, but I feel like most of the art styles, for the most part, are well enough designed to hold up. Though I did realize that Uwan looked like Luffy from One Piece a lot. Anyways, as for gameplay limitations, unfortunately, battles do begin with a loading screen before you play against the boss. Gitaroo Man consists of 10 bosses, each of which comprise the entire gameplay and combat of the game. Gameplay is divided into 3 sections: charge, guard, and attack. Charge and guard consist of a timing game following a line after pressing at the right moment, holding for however long the beat is, kind of like Osu. However, the line is very important to follow or else it won't count even if you press at the right time. Guard consists of pressing buttons when they arrive at the center on time. Doing well in each reaps different effects relative to how accurate you are. Charge increases your HP, attack deals damage to the opponent, and guard avoids damage to yourself from the enemy. Although you can also take damage from failing in the attack section. This is especially noticeable in the final section of each boss, where the boss has no more health in its health bar and you have to survive long enough to beat it in its final phase. Part of what I dislike about the system, especially later on, is the fact that you have to try the whole level over again if you fail the final phase. I also have criticisms on the follow the line, as it's called. Many times when it zigzags in small motions, it's possible for you to get off balance. And other times I've experienced the opposite of not moving the line at all and still following through. As for the core of the game, the bosses do increase in difficulty with a nice pace, with some discrepancies, and have much variety in their appearance. I'm not amiss to mention the music. The half of the gameplay, which is fantastic, ranging from practically every genre. Though I know this is very subjective, the variety in itself, along with the great matching visuals of the atmosphere and design of the bosses, must be praised in itself. Another thing to be praised is when missing attack sequences or guard sequences, the punishment is less musical sound or bass to support the beat. For story, I'll explain it while I explain combat, as Gitaroo's story is not to be taken seriously. It's usually a charming backdrop to the gameplay, so much so that each scene is around 30 seconds with a boss fight right after. You begin by coming home to being picked on by Kazuya, while Poki, a girl you like, is beside him. After going home, your dog Puma offers you a game to play, and after the tutorial, a demon pops up, which is a flashpan introduction while pretty easy to beat. Not much to say here, as this is usually the boss used as a building block for others. After going outside, you see a UFO attack in the city. This fight theme is electrical music and has more grouped up beats in the attack sequence and a quicker guard sequence. I also like how its final phase gets more cinematic and ramps up to the music. After ending up in the forest we crashed on, walking through it, Puma explains your destiny out of nowhere.
Okay, listen you one. You are of the Gitaroo Man bloodline, inheritor of the legendary Gitaroo. If you can collect all of the Gitaroos, you'll gain great powers and—
Puma, I have other plans.
We also get a scene of the villain and his plan.
And bring me his Gitaroo, the last Gitaroo.
Sir!
Do not fail me.
Sir!
Send Moto King B into the forest.
Sir! Sir!
As you fight King B, he uses a trumpet, which has a jazz song with long curving sequences that smooth themselves into the guard sequences. Not only is this thematically consistent with jazz, but it also serves as a newly used mechanic into the game. On your journey to Gitaroo World, you encounter Benkei, a guard-only sequence which I find varies the pace nicely in gameplay and serves as a difficulty check, as I died mostly to this guy. After crashing, Benkei becomes a mecha along with you, and he plays reggae, using long-lasting directional lines more than King B, that curve a lot and have repetitive evade patterns. I personally dislike this addition to the further bosses as it gets out of hand and is almost impossible to keep up with without using 2 hands to click buttons. What's conflicting about this is that spamming buttons is the best strategy. since what only matters is if you don't hit the guard signs in time, not if you hit the buttons at the wrong times. Kazuya from Gitaroo World then asks Yuan for the Gitaroo.
Zoe of the Gravilians, you may hand over your Gitaroo to me. That is the legendary last Gitaroo I have been searching for all my
Don't
life.
give it to him, you one.
After landing around a campfire, the girl you like, Pico, is actually named Kira here, and comes to ask to you about who Pico is. Then you play a soft melody. Although this fight is not about the difficulty, in my opinion, what makes this great is the emotions I got from the music being intertwined with the character's feelings. This also adds another variety to the gameplay, like it did with Benkei, as it's not really a battle. Of course, you can lose the level and get a pretty bummer ending.
Sorry, I have to go home now.
Wait, can I offer you some tea?
Yuan then wakes up to Puma getting captured and him getting ambushed. And this is another, albeit small example of gameplay intertwining with story that also acts with a change of pace and introduces another one of my favorite songs. You first start with low health and have to guard in the beginning before a charge phase. This battle adds to the Benkei mecha fight in its quick guard repetition. Although, back what I said before, these sequences are evident of the button mash problem even if they aren't as common. But after the guard battle, the Sandbone Trio has the quickest attack sequence up to date. Of course, this changes when you encounter the last guitar you need from some guy in the cathedral called Gregorio, who uses quick paced sequences like in the last battle with way more directional lines, and drags along the repetitive beat mechanics from all the other bosses in its guard sequence. In confronting Kazuya, he puts Kira or Pika of this world to fight him. What I love about this battle is the connection to story and callback with the same song in the campfire, with the most directional lines, having to switch directions even to sharp 90-degree angles.
Oh, yes, yes. This is the sound, that glorious sound. We've forgotten the sound for so long.
You have to follow after falling to the ground. You both play together and realize she could use her powers for good.
Kira, the real enemy is Zoe.
Zoe, the Kazuya of this world, talks about Kira's betrayal, and after berating Yuan, he becomes Gitaroo Man, which has a sequence that lasts a bit too long.
Do it.
So tell me, what do you do?
I can do it.
What, defeat me?
I can.
Not you.
Can too.
You're a loser.
Am not.
Always made fun of.
No way.
Always dumb.
Never.
Always running.
No.
Always failing.
No.
Fail in all things.
No.
Can't do anything.
Yes, I can.
So what can you do?
I can do it.
What is it you can do?
I can do it.
What can you do? Show me now.
Sure, I can.
Miserable scum. Show me all you've got.
I can do it. I can.
No, you can't.
I can.
There's no way you can.
And I can.
You can't.
Because I can.
Because what?
Because.
Say it. Because what?
I can do it because go you because I'm Gitaroo!
The final boss fight has all the mechanics added to long sequences, short bursts, long curves, repetitive guard beats, and adds a charge sequence to heal yourself up. This made me feel that the game was setting me up to bat. Unfortunately, Zoe's final phase holds no punches, and if you lose that sequence, you have to repeat the entire sequence, unless you use save states, which I fortunately did. Having said that, this truly does feel like a final battle.
The legendary Gitaroo.
And after you save Gitaroo World, you finally see Pico strike a pose that somehow makes Kazuya fall and run away to have some fun. those are my thoughts on Gitaroo Man, and if you like this video, like, comment, and sub, since I will be making more video, reviews, critiques, and essays talking about games I like and dislike.